Alright ladies, so what we're doing today is changing out the rear bearing carrier in the 1985 Honda ATC 250R. And you kind of expect problems. I've changed out a lot of carriers before, and sometimes they're really stubborn, sometimes they're not. But apparently this one had never been changed out in the 30 years that the bike's been on the road. So naturally it gave me quite a problem. So here's I have it out now, but it was a huge pain in the butt. So what it was, we had a failure in the rear carrier, and this carrier had never been changed out before. So here it is, 30 years, this carrier right here. This sprocket side bearing was just toast, so the whole axle was sliding all over the place. And so usually what I can do is kind of what I did is I got some penetrating oil, or used my penetrating oil, which is here. Spray it over here on the caliper side, and you can usually take your mallet or like a crowbar and tap that sprocket, or not that sprocket, that disc guard off, and usually you can get the axle to slide out this way. But the problem was this thing was frozen solid. So there was, after two or 3 days of letting this thing soak in penetrating oil, coming out here trying to whack it, I even used my torch to heat it up, and this thing would not move, wouldn't budge at all. So finally what I ended up doing is just cutting the damn thing off. So what I did first is obviously this sits like this, and there's the axle. I cut all the mounting points off of that disc mount right there, and you can see like the rust that this thing, 20 or 30 years of just sitting on there. The thing was on there solid. This little piece right there did not want to slide off no matter what I did. So I ended up cutting it, and there it is. There's this part is the disc mount part, and this is the actual axle right here. But you see how close that is. This thing is pretty much welded together now because of all the rust and corrosion. Not going to be able to get that off at all. So just like that, ended up cutting it off. Got that off, slid this out, and then was able to slide the carrier out. And there's the bearing failures inside there. So I've had my Harbor Freight cut-off tool for a while, or grinder for a while. It's a 7-inch. It's a Harbor Freight. I think I paid $29 for it a while ago. It's a 7-inch, and it cut through this no problem. So I've only used this thing a few times, but I kind of keep it just in case, something crazy comes up. And sure enough, today I needed to use it, so it came in handy. It cut through this in about 25 minutes. I kind of would let it go through a little bit and let the blade cool down. Let it go through a little bit more, let the blade cool down a little bit, and then sure enough, finally cut right through it, no problem. So Harbor Freight, I think it was $29, $39. 7-inch grinder, cut through it pretty easy. So we already knew we were going to replace it, so we already had an axle on standby. So we're getting ready to get this thing cleaned up and get the splines all lubed up so we won't have a failure again, hopefully. Get this thing all nice and cleaned up and put in. There's the new carrier. So I kind of got this thing lubed up, ready to roll, and I cleaned up the inside of the housing already. Got this thing lubed up. I should be ready to mount here in a few minutes. So it was a pain in the butt. Something that should have only taken 2 hours, ended up taking 5 days. Just letting that thing heat up, cool down, try to mallet it out, but it would never come out. So finally ended up cutting it. So if you do need to do it, just be advised. Probably better off buying a used axle, have it on standby, because a lot of these things, just won't come out. 30 years of sitting in that carrier, it's pretty much stuck solid. So Alright ladies, hopefully we'll get this thing together today, get this thing started up, and get this bike rolling.